Hello everyone, welcome to the second episode in my new series, Behind the Degeneracy, where I talk about my new solo album, Music for Degenerates, track for track, get a chance to get into some stuff, do some talking, do some guitar playing, just have a good time. So, episode 2, we're talking about Long Way Back. Long Way Back was the first track that I had actually recorded for this project. One day, I was just kind of sitting on the couch. I think it was 2022 when I had started this, and I'm just riffing, doing, guitar playing for fun because I don't really practice all that much. I just spend a lot of time playing guitar, and essentially what I'd run into was this really cool guitar progression that, I ran into these 3 chords, and it was just immediately like, I know how to do this song, and those chords are... Right, just a lot of dissonance, a lot of like kind of odd melody work kind of going on that I could hear things through that, and with a song like this that has like a progression that kind of you feel a lot of things out of, you can use that kind of 90s, early 2000s popular song formatting to work as both a verse as well as a chorus, right? So on your verses, you've got this right? And what that is I'm playing a power chord, right? Just a regular schmegular power chord. In the case of this, it's like a D power chord. But with something like this, where you've got the D and the A, you can take it and make it kind of like an inversion power chord. So rather than the A being played here on the D string, you play that A down on the E string. And what it does, it still sounds like a D power chord. But because you put the 5th in the bass, it's got a deeper thing to it. It's kind of like pulling chords out of a lower tuned guitar than the one that you're technically playing with. Back when I was out writing and gigging with Hatestorm Annihilation, I used to play this chord all the time in standard tuning because it was I always the back half of that band was spent almost entirely in just standard tuning, and in a way of sounding chunky or sounding lower, we're using these chords. And when you play it in a drop tuning, so I'm in drop D, for example, it works exactly the same way, but you just kind of reformat how your hands sit, because in standard tuning it kind of looks like this. So you would normally have like a what would you say, like a low A, a D, and then the high A that all kind of play like this big chord, right? But it kind of sets it up like that. I had learned when Hatestorm Annihilation, my old death metal band, was on tour with Morbid Angel, Misery Index, and Origin. I'd learned by watching Origin, the guitarist Paul Ryan, super cool guy. I love that band so much. He played in drop tuning, drop B, if I remember correctly, on a 6-string Jackson guitar that was fucking badass. But he would play that same chord, but in a drop tuning. So he was kind of holding it so that his index finger, his ring finger would sit on the lowest string, and then his pointer finger would sit on the next one up. So you'd build that chord just like that. Right? And then you can move that, or right? So yeah, it's fun, and you can use those big chords to play those choruses. Rough, but needs it safe. Right? It's had enough that masks the pain. It's nice. And it worked great for both the verses and the chorus. There's so much vibe to it that you could kind of take these other guitar melodies, as I'll typically do, is write a progression and then kind of fill out the stereo mix with like a left guitar playing, you know, some kind of melody, and then the right guitar counterpointing the left guitar. So it almost sounds like you're playing chords on top of chords, or like specifically it's pulling out these what do you call them? Color tones, I guess some people have referred to that as, where it's like it's highlighting other notes and other chords that could technically be a thing, but it's like having three guitar players all playing like a beautiful like piano part collectively. So yeah, it works out pretty nicely for that. So aside from that, the guitar melodies, the other part that's like really, really important to this song is the bridge section. I wanted to do something really different, and this bit that I had written literally right after writing that primary like verse chorus riff was this bridge that just had so much vibe to it. You know, and it sets this nice foundation, these moving arpeggiated chords. Couldn't tell you what they are because I write a lot of this stuff note for note, so I'm not really thinking about what these chords are. But it sets this nice little foundation, so then when I had sent the song to Kelly to start doing drums for, he just wrote it with such vibe and such, you know, feel that like as these chords are moving, everything's kind of going. There's this really cool bass line. I have the bass on me right now, so I'm not going to try to record that, but it just, everything kind of flowed together. And then as I'm listening back to all this stuff, when I'm getting into the vocals and writing all these things, like that whole bit, you know, it's a long way, it's a long way back home, you know, kind of almost has this like Michael McDonald, you know, thing to it. It's very 80s, it's, you know, kind of pop rocky in that way, but you know, the way it kind of grooves and how everything sets, I would say if there was any, like, if I could think of like a top 3 moments on that record that I'm just really proud of, like that would actually be one, because it feels so outside of anything that I'd done up to that point, but was still just having a really good time with it, you know, and it just fit in perfectly. You know, it was a cool song. I'm really glad that I had written it when I did, because I don't know that the rest of this album would have ever even been considered to be done. You know, it's, you almost kind of need that like moment of clarity of like being like, okay, this is something I really like, time to look into the rest of it, you know, because it's rare that I ever just go into like writing one song. It's usually something that kind of like kicks off the rest of everything. And I'm really, really proud and thankful of this song for that reason. But yeah, so there it was, Long Way Back. Thank you guys again for checking out the second episode of Behind the Degeneracy. I'll see y'all in episode 3 when we talk about I Don't Feel the Days Pass Anymore, the first interlude track on that album. All right, talk to you guys later.